Okay, hello everybody, it's Garnet, and we are continuing on in a commentary video series that is going through the entire Neuralite Practical Guide for Beginners, and we're doing it step by step by step. It's a great way for you to read along, see what there is, see what I say, and then feel more confident. Right now, as you may have noticed if you're following the series, what I did is I printed out the practical guide for beginners and I did it into sections. This would be section number 4. It's kind of up to you naturally if you want to print it. Number 1, I would recommend that you do that, and whether you make it into a kind of a bound book, that could be nice, some kind of coil binding, or in this case just for practicality the way I've got it sort of chopped up. So this is a short introduction to the concept of brain shaping. You'll notice that the name of the document is the Neuralite Practical Guide for Beginners. So these two things are important. I'm not just saying it's the Neuralite Guide. It's meant to be practical. And, you know, in the very beginning, the very first section, there is some theory, but that theory is not just an abstraction, not an interesting set of ideas. All of the practical elements in the Neuralite methodology are built on these principles. That's why they're there. Then, of course, we had brain exercises. The brain exercise aspect is so potent, and it's very unusual. To the best of my knowledge, you won't find it anywhere else, in any other kind of light sound devices or brain entrainment or whatever. It really is going into the brain gym for coordination, flexibility, endurance, and strength, and also reinforcing, amazingly, reinforcing 7 primary brain networks. It's an aspect of the Neuralite that you can use right from the very beginning, and the methodology, I think, is well laid out in a kind of prescriptive or menu or recipe style in the guide. So practical and beginners. The second thing that is very practical for beginners is the help right now. It is something that is meaningful to people. You can relate to the concept of having a difficulty, and you may remember, if you've watched them before or you've been reading the document, that there are 2 kinds of situations for the help right now. One is that transitory challenge that comes along. It is a state that is uncomfortable and you can help relieve it. The other is when a trait, not just a state, but a trait that is more chronic to the person is somehow aggravated up into the expression of the state. So the trait manifesting as a state, an aggravation, and yes, you can reduce down back to a more comfortable level that state in the help right now. So that's brain exercise, help right now, very, very, very suitable for Neuralite beginners. You have a huge advantage when you look at the information in the practical guide to get you going. Now this one, brain shaping. Brain shaping is something that I'm going to talk about some amount, but it doesn't really fit in a practical guide for beginners. There's so much experience that you'll get doing brain exercise, doing help right now, that'll lay the foundation for going further into the brain shaping. So my advice is to build your confidence, build your skill, build your experiences in the brain exercise and the help right now, knowing that there will be a time, I'm not saying that has to be a long time, but there will be a time when you'll have enough understanding that you'll be able to then begin to work with the longer term brain shaping processes. Extremely rewarding, requiring, I would say, some insight and some commitment on both parties. I mean, or if you're just working with yourself, for yourself. So that's just a simple introduction. We'll come back in a moment with an overview of the brain shaping concept. Thanks. Bye-bye.